thoughts of suicide. Sitting alone in this empty room I cry, waiting for an angel to visit in the night. I pray and I pray, but the demons don't subside. I wake up in the morning, see my life through my new eyes. The vision is clear, I'm making all things right. Tighten the screws, cause last night I almost died. I'll see you in the morning, I'll say to you, come on, let's talk, just me and you. Something's going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Freaky Friday! Yes! Freaky Friday! Yes! Freaky Fridays! You don't like Freaky Fridays, Coyote?
I love Freaky Fridays.
Oh, okay. I thought you didn't like them. I know people like Freaky Friday.
It doesn't matter which day it is. I like it. Friday, Monday,
okay.
doesn't matter to me. When you work for yourself, it doesn't really fucking matter what day it is.
Oh, shit. Every day for you is freaky then.
Bro, it's a freaky life. I only have one life to live, man.
Hey, that's it.
I'm going to be freaky the whole way through. You're lucky I'm fucking wearing a shirt, man.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some news real fast, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, the Me Too Movement Committee is at it again.
That's it. I'm done. Bye.
Me Too, and Me Too. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no, hold on. There's two. It's Me Too, right? So there you go.
Can you hear this? Let me turn it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Majors has a problem again. So now he has other women coming out talking about he molested them.
So who are we talking about right now?
We're talking about the gentleman that played in the new Creed movie.
Not
Jonathan Majors.
So
yes, Jonathan Majors has
the bad guy.
other women coming out trying to Me Too him.
Yeah, he's supposed to have been a big part of the new Marvel phase.
Yes.
He's in the Ant-Man and Wasp movie that just came out.
Yeah.
Bad guy in there.
So
he lost all of his movie deals. He lost his commercial deals.
So Jonathan Majors is what you're talking about, right?
Jonathan Majors, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, he just got fired.
I actually like that guy. I didn't see the movie yet, but I actually appreciate that guy. He's done a bunch of good movies, if not mistaken.
Yeah, he's making a name for himself, but they're tearing his name apart right now.
And there's proof, right? There's proof to this.
There's this.
Yeah.
If you want to
There's
believe
talking.
women, yes.
I don't know if it's true or
women,
not.
yes.
You know, I was just talking about this on my live yesterday. How, you know, this.
Hold on, we got some comments. Hold on.
Oh, we got lots of comments.
Already started. It hasn't even started yet.
People with a storyline trying to find someone that doesn't exist. As long as you have most of what you need, get out the game. Okay.
In other words, get your piece of ass and go.
That's related to the show today.
You know, the only issue with this though is, you know what? I understand what he's saying, but the problem with he's saying is that those guys have worked their whole life. I don't like actors in general. I don't like their politics. I think they're full of shit. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a guy that worked his whole fucking life to get where he is. And as soon as he gets, because this is his coming out role. Like you look at all the roles that he's done before, it was always secondary, was never really the star. And now this comes out. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying the women are right or wrong. But you can't just dismiss it and say, oh, you know what, get out the game. No, fuck no. He's worked his whole life for this. Why should he get out?
Hey, welcome to the show, good brother. Welcome to the show. He says, settle for less. That's pride and arrogance speaking. All right.
You know what? Again, coming from people that haven't achieved much, that's very easy to say. So you're saying, so let's take me, for example. I'm not arrogant, but I'm fucking very confident in what I say. I walk the line of arrogance and confidence. But if you saw where I came from, if you saw what I've done in my life, you'd understand why, because it takes balls to do what I do. It takes fucking courage. It takes discipline. And it is something that I do every fucking day. What time did you get up in the morning? I was up at 1:45. It's 6 right now. I've already been fucking working for almost 5.5 hours. and I'm people just waking up. By the time I get to the gym, I have 10 hours done. By the time I come back, most people have not even finished their fucking day of work. I'm already 10 or 12 hours in. But that's my point. But you know what? The big problem with the Me Too movement that they never fucking talk about is that it's all in the social sphere. There's no fucking proof needed anymore.
Nope.
They just, and I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying he did it. But right now, nothing's proven. In North America, our laws are based on innocent until proven guilty, not guilty because somebody says that you are. That's fucking.
right.
So you got a guy, and I'm not saying that he's right or wrong,
No.
that he hasn't done any wrong.
That movie's trash, brother. That movie's trash. Let's not speak about Netflix adaptation and Cleopatra. It's so far. They look. Cleopatra is Egyptian. Cleopatra is not black.
You know that they're getting sued over this?
Look. Every time a movie comes out with a person that looks half black, they want to make them all the way black. She's not black. She's Egyptian.
Netflix is being sued by the Egyptian government right now.
She's Egyptian.
But you know what? Who cares? At the end of the day, who gives a fuck? It's a movie. It's like you're telling me that I need to be handicapped to play a handicapped person. It's called fucking acting, motherfucker. No, but there's a reason why it's called acting. So,
hey, brother, look, the problem I got is, man, we always try to rewrite history. This is what it is.
Of course,
you can't make a person black that's not black.
No, but you have to.
Got to make Cal black, and he ain't black either.
But you have to admit, as the only black guy on this panel right now, that it is cool to push a black artist. Like I'm on Netflix right now, and there's sections of black movies. Like this is now a filter. Can you imagine white movies?
No.
There'd be an uproar.
Can you? But what's the difference? Like I'm happy for you to be proud to be black. That's who you are. Why the fuck wouldn't you be proud? I'm also proud to be a white guy. But can you imagine? I get on my chest tattooed white pride.
Oh my God, that'd be the end of the world.
But you could get tattooed.
You got some balls.
But you could say that. You could get tattooed black pride on your chest, and people would be, "Amen, brother." Same thing as Cain. Do you know Cain Velasquez, the MMA fighter that he was heavyweight champ forever? He has brown pride tattooed on his back. And every time I see this, I'm like, you know what? Good for you, brother. There's nothing. If you want to be proud of your Spanish heritage, good for you. But I always think how fucked up it would be if I put white pride on my back, right?
Yes, an Egyptian lawyer is gonna be funny.
Yep.
Yeah, brother. I don't know why we always try to make everybody black, but it's ridiculous.
You know, because you guys are oppressed. That's why. But
we just need more people to be black.
But I'm surprised you knew how to turn on your computer, Tarek.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You know, Joe Biden.
Guess what? I'm gonna fuck with it. Turn it on.
Joe Biden thinks that black people don't know how to run computers, and you can't find the DMV because.
Let me ask you a question, brother, about this, man. Look, where you originally from? What is your homeless population? Where you originally from?
Say that again. I didn't hear your question.
Where you originally from? What is your homeless population like?
They're pretty much everywhere.
Okay.
Like you go into cities, we're very Canada is extremely liberal. Where I'm from, Montreal is like one of the most liberal, if not the most liberal, city in Canada. So it's very much. If you've been to Austin, it's very much like Austin. Austin, Texas is very much like that. There's homeless everywhere, and people don't care. And a lot of it, you know, I was in a relationship for a long time with a doctor out of Montreal, and one of the things she indicated is that unfortunately a lot of the people that lives in the streets are people that have mental issues. Like we have a very big native population in Canada, right? And they come from the north, they come down to Montreal to get treated because they don't necessarily have all the right hospitals where they're from, so they come down as part of the Canadian health system. And this is something that people don't like to talk about, but as Europeans, alcohol has been in our culture for thousands of years. It is totally normal. Our body is acclimated to alcohol, and we have a bigger tolerance to alcohol. But if you look at the native population, it's only been introduced to them a maximum of 400 years.
Right.
So they are more prone to addiction when it comes to alcoholism because they don't have the tolerance that we have. This is genetics. It's not. Yes, it's racist technically to say what I'm saying because it's attached to race, but it's not negative. It is just a fucking fact. And we see that a lot. And this is the problem with I saw the same thing in Austin. A lot of those guys are people with mental issues. They have addiction, they have mental issues, and they're left on their own. Instead, being homeless is not necessarily a choice. Some people it is a choice, but the vast majority is not a choice. If they weren't in that situation, they wouldn't. And I don't know if you know, but the population of homelessness is like 95% men. It is a big problematic with men. And it is something that we don't address. It is something that we don't talk about because you know what? A woman will always have an easier life. Look throughout history, women are in wars. Women are always spared because they can bear children. So they will protect the women because they can give us the best resources that we have on this planet is children. Right. But you don't need that many men to produce. Like you look at a Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan, the Mongolian, right?
Right.
Do you know that 0.5% of the world population has his DNA? He raped and pillaged and fucked so much that 0.5% of the world population
I can see that
carry his DNA. So you don't need a lot of guys to make babies, but you need a shit ton of women. But
right. The reason why I asked you there, brother, I got to ask you this.
Yeah.
President Donald J. Trump said that when he gets in office again, he was going to fix homelessness.
Okay.
He was going to make sure that all the states clean up their homelessness.
Yep.
Take them in, get mental health.
Yep.
Get housing.
Yep.
Get food, all that good stuff. Yep. And if they didn't accept it, they were going to go to jail.
That's interesting. That's an interesting.
What do you think about that?
I haven't heard about what he's saying, but from what you're saying, I'm not necessarily against the idea. I'd like to know more. Like it's hard for me to say something if I don't know exactly what he means. But there is something to be done with homelessness. There's no doubt about it. And I'd be curious. You know, I think one of the biggest difference between Canada and the U.S. homelessness is your veterans. Because if you look at the numbers, I have a very soft spot for veterans. Like coming from a military family, I do believe that you guys are not doing enough for your vets. And
I agree.
I've done a lot of research, and you know, do you realize that in the U.S. 6.4% of your population is veterans? Like 6.4%. That's more than 16 million people are vets. Yep. And I would be very curious to see if you look at your homelessness level and how many of those homeless are veterans. Like I'd be very, very curious to see this. And on top of that, I would like to see how much of those vets. So not only how many homeless are vets, but how many of them suffer from PTSD.
Right.
Because to me, but as per the statistics, it's not that many. Like I know a lot of veterans, and there's not a lot of them that suffer with PTSD. You know that they look. The Veterans Affairs did do a study, and they show that about 6% of the average population has some type of PTSD. As per their research, they came out with two numbers: either 7%, which is just 1% more than the average. So for the vets, they're only affected 1%. The worst study that they came out with showed 10% for men. So if the veteran was going through the VA healthcare, they showed that 10% of men had PTSD, 19% for women. I'm not surprised because women are more attached to their emotions. So it makes sense to me that it's twice as much. Totally makes sense. And the most negative research that I could find is 23%. So 23% of veterans would have some type of symptoms of PTSD. Let's say that that's the case. That means that 2 million, let's play devil's advocate. That means 2 millions of your vets, 2 million people in the US are veterans with PTSD. So I'd be curious to see how many of those are homeless, because I don't know how you guys feel about psychedelics. I don't know how aware you are about the research that's being done on PTSD using psilocybin or magic mushroom. But I'm a big proponent of psychedelics. I've been consuming them since I've been about 14 years old. It was a party drug before, but in my 30s, I rediscovered them because I stopped consuming them for almost 20 years.
Right.
And then in my 30s, I started consuming them as a way to get in better touch with myself. It helps my meditation practice. It helps to elevate my mind. So I like magic mushrooms and I like ayahuasca, if you know what ayahuasca is.
Yeah.
But John Hopkins have been making some studies with psilocybin and PTSD sufferers, both from military and near death. So people that are advanced stages of cancer in order to accept their death. You know how? So
Wow.
you know what they're coming out. You know what their numbers are showing out of John Hopkins right now when it comes to how they're reacting to the PTSD treatment done with psilocybin.
I have no idea.
100% cure within one or
Wow.
two sessions.
Huh.
Those guys have been going through. They've been going to psychiatrists for years. They cannot get rid of their PTSD, and they never will be. You cannot treat PTSD with psychiatry. Do you know why? Do you know why you can't treat PTSD with psychiatry?
To me, it's going to cause even more problems. To me, to me, I think.
No, psychiatry has a lot of benefits if it's done properly. But the reason you cannot
I've
treat,
been, and it ain't do nothing to me.
you know something? Not everybody needs it. It's not
Right.
meant for everybody. There's some people that need to share, and by sharing, you know, when you put something into context, when you have something in your head and you explain it to someone, you hear yourself say it. And most people don't write. Most people don't record a lot of podcasts like we do, so they don't put their ideas out there and listen to it afterwards and just say, "Holy fuck, that was messed up what I just said." Maybe, well, hold on, maybe there's something about this that I need to look into further. But what is brilliant about psilocybin is if you understand how, and it's funny because I was having a discussion with a psychiatrist 2 days ago because I'm going to be on his podcast. And we were talking about PTSD and how to treat it. And he agrees 100% that you cannot treat PTSD with psychiatry, that psilocybin or psychedelics are one of the only ways to do it. Because if you understand what PTSD does, it traumatizes you. It puts your brain into a state of survival. So your fight or flight response, your reptilian brain takes over. It shuts off your prefrontal cortex, which is your logical, if you will, see it as your logical portion of your brain. All of the decisions that are taken, so all of your senses, everything that you perceive and receive goes through your prefrontal cortex, and then it decides what to do with it. Is it something that the subconscious mind needs to deal with because he doesn't need to know how to breathe, he doesn't need to be remembered for his heart to beat, that he doesn't need to do, but does he need to take a decision upon this? And the prefrontal cortex will actually take that decision for it. What happens in a fight or flight response is that your prefrontal cortex is hijacked. It's basically shut down. So your brain does not work anymore. You are simply in survival mode where your conscious mind is not there at all anymore. So all you're doing is reliving. You're just reliving whatever causes you to have PTSD, whatever triggers you afterwards. Let's say it's a gunshot because you were in the military, you got shot, whatever it might be. You're just replaying it,
over and over again. Right.
What Dr. Rick Strassman has proved in the 90s with ayahuasca, with DMT, he was using pure DMT, but what he showed under MRIs is that your brain does not behave normally when you're under psilocybin. Your brain does not shut off your prefrontal cortex. It is just deactivated in a way where you're still conscious, you're still there, but your brain is not hijacked. So it just removes that part. That's why if you're under psychedelics, you can see sound, you can taste music. Like it's very interesting because your senses are talking to themselves. Your eyes are talking to your mouth without going through your decision-making portion of your brain, which is your prefrontal cortex. Why it's so great why they're so successful at curing PTSD is that it doesn't shut off. It shuts off your prefrontal cortex in a way that your brain is still functioning, but it doesn't hijack it and shut your whole brain down. It just allows you to relive your experience as a third-party member. So you're looking at what is traumatizing you as a memory, but you are no longer the person living the experience. You are just looking at the experience from a third party. And finally, for the first time in your life, you're able to see that it is just a memory, that it is not your present right now. It is not, you are not in survival mode right now. You were in survival mode when that PTSD traumatized you, but you're not anymore. So that's why they're so successful, because within 1 or 2 sessions, you're capable of facing your fears, of facing what traumatized you in a way that is logical. You can look at it from a third party's perspective and see, holy shit, that was fucked up. I guarantee you your trip is not going to be pleasant. That 4 hours is going to fucking suck. You're probably going to throw up. You're going to cry. You're going to be in all type of moods, because it's the first time since you've been traumatized that you can finally face it for what it is, and not, you can just see it as a memory. So past and present, there's a segregation, and finally you can sit in the middle and say, okay, this is me right now. This is my past. This is not who I am right now. So, this is how you deal with your, this is one of my life goals, is to help veterans with that. I want to have an animal sanctuary, because animals have been shown when brought to the hospital that it does soothe people that are suffering, and then have ceremonies of psilocybin and ayahuasca. But I want to specialize in helping veterans.
All right.
So that was quite a segue. Sorry, one of my brain farts.
Hey, brother, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. This is all educational. This is good stuff to know, man. Appreciate you.
But I love the vets, man. We need to do more for those guys. We need to, I made a post the other day, and I'm very happy about the response that I get, because I wasn't expecting that. But I've been saying for years that you guys can cure your school shootings by putting armed guards into your school, but especially with veterans. Especially with veterans. Give those men purpose again. Those guys were ready to die to defend their fucking country. Imagine what they're going to do protecting our most valuable resources, kids.
Amen.
Those guys are going to fucking kill whatever goes in there. They will literally dive in front of the bullets in order to save just one children. So I made a post about this, and this is what I was saying, that you guys, I can show, as a Canadian, I can tell you guys how to fix your fucking shooting problem, your school shooting problem. and you know what? The response was great. I had so many vets, followers of mine, that are like, when? Show me when. Show me where I can go to make that happen. Let's make that a reality. Like,
it would happen.
Oh, fuck yeah. It needs to happen, but you guys need to push it on a community level. The school boards needs to start doing this without approval from the federal government.
There you go.
Shit, that was a segue.
The only problem is the school system has been hijacked by the liberals.
There you go. Now that's one of the biggest problems. You're right.
But you know what though? This is an excuse that we need to stop making. I agree with you 1,000%. I'm totally in agreement. You and I are eye to eye on this one. But we need to stop using this as an excuse and start saying, listen, this is the current situation, but this needs to fucking change. Because if you look at people that are on the school board, a lot of men out there are good men, but they don't know how to get involved. They don't know how to change the world. And I like to say this all the time. The world is changed one man at a time, but it also just needs one man to change the world. So if you want to change the world, get involved on the community level. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm a big fan of the Rotary Club. I don't know if you know what the Rotaries are, but they're clubs that are all over the world. They are in the US. I think they have thousands of them. So if you have a city, there's one close to you. Men and women are allowed in. It's a mixed group, but they specialize in helping their community. They're the type of people that will give back. Like, I was invited to one a few weeks ago where I drove to go there, and the weekend before, they had picked up garbage on the side of the highway. They just took it upon themselves to say, you know what, we're going to organize something. And they spent a full weekend with a bunch of people. They invited a bunch of people to show up, and they cleaned up a part of the highway. This, to me, is how you change the world. If you're not happy about the way things are going, get involved. And I can tell you, for whoever's listening right now, look at the Rotary Club. The reason being is I've been to quite a few meetings. There's some of the most powerful men in your community that are sitting right on those meetings. Because those guys, if you look at guys that have money, they give back. We don't talk about this enough because people are so hateful towards the 1% of people that make a lot of money. But they give a lot of their shit back. They give a shit ton of their time back. And you know what? If you want to get involved, go to a Rotary Club. You'll get access to guys like that. And I guarantee you one thing, those guys will listen to your good ideas. If you believe that your school board in your area needs to change, they need to put in a policy where armed guards are needed, and we should especially do it with veterans, get involved. Just do it. If you believe in this shit, stop making excuses. Don't listen to the state government. Don't listen to the federal government. Go towards your community level, because this is where things change. You change your world, change your world. You don't need to change the world. Change your world. Right. Change where you live every day. These are where we can have impact.
Amen. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, we just been rambling on and on. But ladies and gentlemen, hold on, let me see what we get. Somebody put this story. Let's see what we got here. When I was young, I'd have said I don't, but at age makes you think differently. Yes, very true. Very true.
That's a sign of growth, is what it's called.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into the show. We've been talking about politics and Me Too movement and all types of stuff.
we went way off topic.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Time dating? Are you having a hard time? Are you still here looking for Mr. and Mrs. Right? Are you just ready to just fucking settle? Or are you ready to fucking just die alone? What are y'all ready to do? What do you think? Gentlemen, what do you think? I know Nico, he's got a girlfriend. My brother Coyote, he's married and I'm married. But for those that are still out looking for Mr. and Mrs. Right, are you ready to just settle or die alone?
I'll tell you what, the first marriage taught me not to settle. Okay. And going from that to the dating scene again, you know, I was out looking for the best looking women I could. And
as most of us do.
Most of us do. And most of them ended up being a flop.
Right.
They had the beauty on the outside. They didn't have the beauty on the inside. When I met my wife, Michelle, I found somebody that carried the same values as me, that we don't have everything in common, but we have a lot in common. And she, you know, Nico had brought this up before, you know, you asked about their daddy, and if they have something.
Who's your daddy?
To say.
Oh no, shit, that's not the right one. That's,
you know, but I mean, if they tear up, or
you
know, they have those great memories of their father, that's the kind of woman you're looking for. If she's just bitching and complaining and oh, he was the worst guy in the world, that's the kind you try to avoid.
Right.
And my father-in-law, he's not exactly the best guy in the world.
Right.
But Michelle was very quick to remember all the good times they had together over all the bad times. So that was very impressive.
Let me ask you a question before you get any further. Do you think that men actually go out and try to find a woman exactly like their mother?
Yep.
I think a lot of them do.
Uh-huh.
I believe that.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Depends on your mother, I guess.
You know, the thing to remember is, for a guy, the first woman he ever loved was his mother.
Right?
Yeah.
For a girl, the first man they ever loved was their father.
Right.
So if you say that a girl has daddy issues, is because she was very impacted by her father, but she never made peace with the fact that her father wasn't perfect. It is a strong possibility that her father might have been a great guy, might have been a good man, or maybe not. But that shouldn't dictate. You shouldn't let that control your vision of men as a whole. This is why I was saying, and that means that you were listening when I said always ask that question on your first date, because it will dictate to you. Because the fact that she had a great father or not is not really relevant at the end of the day, as long as she's done the work, as long as she's learned to understand that we're not perfect. There's no man out there that's perfect. There's no
Right.
father out there that's perfect. We all make fucking mistakes,
Mhm.
but a lot of us we're trying. Like anything in life, we're trying. We're just
Right.
trying, right? We're fucking humans. Where where it's interesting is if you've done the work or not. Because my girlfriend's Italian. She comes from first generation immigrant, and her father's an immigrant himself from Italy.
Mm.
To them, family is everything. To me,
Right.
family is almost nothing because I don't have a relationship. I don't have a good relationship with my mother and my sister because of the way that I am. They don't like a very strong male figure, and they're both feminists. So we don't get along on a lot of things. And it's okay. Don't get me wrong. I don't choose my family, but it's okay. I still love them. But the thing is, one of the things that my mother's taught me from a young age is to cook for myself, is to make food at home. Like I associate good cooking with a happy family. And my girlfriend is one of the best cooks I've ever met. So you do look for your mother, even though that you don't want to date your mother, but a lot of the qualities that your mother had that made you have a great childhood, you will look for those in the women that you date. No doubt about it.
Okay. And that's
I'd have to say that, I mean, my mother is a wonderful lady. I love my mother, but I always looked at my grandparents, and the relationship that they had.
right.
You know, my grandpa was a very hardworking man, World War II veteran. He worked out at Exxon, and my grandmother, she always kept the house clean. The meals were always on the table
Mm.
at the right time. You know, she was up making breakfast before Grandpa was ready to go. And then when my grandpa got hurt, my grandmother, she stood by his side. She took care of him, and she still did all those duties that she had done from the beginning of their marriage till the day that my grandpa passed away. And I said, that's the type of relationship that I wanted. You know, they were together for, God, what, about 70 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I said, that's what I want. When
Right.
I found Michelle, she was family oriented, just like me. She believed in, you know, the wife took care of the household, and
Right.
you know, everything that I wanted in a relationship, I found with Michelle.
That's perfect, brother. That's perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna add my 2 cents. because some of y'all are having problems dating because some of y'all don't know what the hell you're doing dating. Let me start with this first. Gentlemen, ladies are looking for a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for a savior. They're looking for somebody to rescue them. And they have nothing to give you but sex.
Right.
And
And
even
most
that,
of us men are selling just for sex. You don't ask the woman if she can cook, clean, raise children. You don't even know if the woman you dating does have children. You don't even know she got kids. You don't even know. And the kids she got don't live with her. They live with her grandmama. Men aren't dating appropriately. They're dating with their penis.
the biggest, I agree with you 100%. And there's something that's worth repeating is we need to stop choosing our partners with our penises and choose our partners with our
Yes.
head, with our mind, because love is a choice. It is something that you choose to do every single day. What we have come to believe that is love is called lust. And it is something that your brain is fucking with you. For the first 6 to
Thank you.
18 months of a new relationship, your brain is releasing hormones into your body to make you want to be with that person because it's something new. And we associate lust with fucking love. That's Walt Disney for you.
Mm.
Women are sold that idea that there's a soulmate out there. We're 8 billions on this planet. You don't have one soulmate. There's a shit ton of women that you could go with, that you could be happy with, as long as you choose a woman that her virtues or values align with yours. Because at the end of the day, this is the most fucking important thing: is what does she represent? What are her core values? What makes her her? Like, this is a discussion that I have with my girlfriend sometimes, and she doesn't like it because women always want to think that they're the most beautiful thing you've ever dated, right? And my girlfriend is not the best looking girl I've ever dated. I've dated some way hotter women in the past. But do you know, my girlfriend is a beautiful woman, but she's not hot. She's beautiful.
She's attractive, man. I've seen her.
No, but what I'm saying is that she's beautiful. She's not hot. When you're calling a woman hot, it is not a compliment on her intellect. You're not complimenting her self. You're complimenting the way she looks. But when we say that woman's hot, because we want to fuck her. It has nothing. We're not looking at her saying, "Ooh, that could be my baby's mom." No. You're seeing as her as you want her on all fours, and you want to be fucking her. This is what we say, that woman's hot. When you when I look at a woman and I say she's beautiful, she brings something to the equation. It is not just a physical thing. Beauty transpires to the body. Like, it comes from the inside and it leaks out. My girlfriend's a beautiful woman because she has all the values that I look for in a woman. She is somebody that I can be with for the rest of my life because of the way that she was brought up and the way that she is. Those are the values that we need to look at instead of making our decisions on lust. And I would go even further than that. You know what? One thing, I was a player for a very fucking long time. And if there's one thing that I wish a father figure that I didn't have would have taught me, is that if I'm not in a serious relationship, I should be celibate. My sexual energy should not be released through masturbation. My sexual energy should be channeled through my work. Learn to control your sexual impulses, and I guarantee you, there's a book, I don't know if you read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, but I think it's the 11th chapter. He talks about semen retention, about how the most powerful energy that a man has is a sexual energy. And why do you think they say to fighters before a fight not to play with himself and not to have sex? Because this is where aggressivity comes from. This is where testosterone is. This is where our life juices are. Those are our sperms. This is our most precious fucking power. And we waste it, on masturbation. We develop a porn addiction, and then we just sleep around with women. So we're giving our most potent energy to sources that do not deserve it. Men need to start seeing themselves as the prize, not as somebody that works for women. What a guy should do is become part of the 5% of men. Women out there, 95% of women will fight over the top 5% of men. Why the fuck would you not become a top 5%? Women in a long-term relationship, what they look for is resources and status. So money and what's your appearance towards your society. Like, you think about a doctor, you think about a lawyer. Those guys have status. They have money. Women love those. They will fight for guys like that because they're considered high-valued men. So why, instead of spending your time dating, instead of spending your time on stupid whores out there that all they want is to get banged by you, by the next guy, by the guy after that, you don't think that negative energy has an impact on you? They say that sex is the most powerful thing that we have. You're basically, there's concepts that say that every person that you sleep with carries the energy of every single person they have slept with. So when you're sleeping with that person, you're transferring that energy, good or bad. I don't know what it is, but good or bad, you are transferring. You're getting imprinted by that, and then you pass it around. It's like an STD, basically, energy based. So if you are not in a serious relationship, be celibate. Do not waste your most powerful energy on women that are not worth it. Realize that, men, you are the prize. Women will fight for you if all you do is to develop your mind, develop ways to make money, and develop your temperance. Be in control of your emotion, be in control of your money, know how to invest it, know how to make more, and women will fight for you. You don't even need to do shit except show up.
You know, brother, I don't mean to
It's
cut
like
you off, brother.
you know, it's like a black guy in a porn. He doesn't need to do anything. He just shows up. He's like, see, be a 5%, bro.
Look, brother, I don't mean to cut you off, man, but listen. Women are outclassing men right now. They're outclassing us.
How so?
Men are not even coming to the table in education. Women are outclassing us in education. Women are outclassing us in the work field. Women are outclassing us. And the thing is, that's why women are not taking men seriously, because they are the men. And men are the women. Because what the men can't outthink the woman. The man's now outworking the woman. There's too many men right now that don't have education. They're living on the dream. I'm trying to be a superstar. Oh, I'm going to be a rapper. I'm going to be an athlete. I'm going to do this. Where's the education? All you got is a damn high school diploma. You didn't do no college. You didn't do nothing. Women are outdoing us. They got degrees. They got certificates. We come with nothing but fucking muscle.
Well, the school system is geared towards females. And men are, or should I say boys, are falling behind in education. That needs to change.
Right.
As far as the workforce goes, in the real world, men are going to work a lot more than what women do.
Yeah.
That's just a fact.
Right.
Okay. Most women, they're either they got to get home to their family or they're about to have a baby. I mean, there's all these factors that women don't work as many hours as men do. And, you know, they talk about the wage gap.
Right.
There is no wage gap. It's against the law.
No.
It is against the law for you to not pay a woman as much as you do a man. You can get sued over that.
Right.
The thing is men are more apt to be there. And because men work so many more hours, that's why you've got this supposed gap in the wages. They're not taking into account for that.
Right.
But you're right about the education. School is basically for girls. That's why all these guys are falling behind. They're getting left behind.
Right.
And that needs to change.
But there's a few things. You know what? You guys should read The War Against Boys by Christina Hoff Sommers, like this book. She's a psychologist that wrote about this back in the 90s, and she republished her book in the 2000s. But it talks about what Cal was just saying, that if you look at the education system right now, and I'm not saying that that's the sole reason. There's two reasons why you have the impression that you just mentioned. The first one being the education system has been developed for women. Like over the past 40 years, like since I've been in school, if I went to school now as the temperament that I had when I was young, I would have been pumped with ADHD medication, and I would have been pumped with a lot of drugs that would have kept me cool. Because right now, if you look at the education system, 75 to 80% of teachers are women. They do not know how to deal with boys. It is not natural for them to deal with boys. So instead of trying to understand what the difference between a boy and a girl, they try to make boys little girls. So basically they're saying, okay, we're going to remove all our class ed, or we're going to remove our PE classes from everywhere. Then those boys are not able to roughhouse on their breaks anymore. And they wonder why those kids cannot sit still. To this day, I'm 41 years old. I can't sit still if I don't go to the gym. Every day, I need to do something that is physical, and I need to meditate every day in order to kind of channel that aggressive nature that we have as boys. So
hey, appreciate you, brother. Put it in. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, go ahead, man.
But we need to stop treating our boys like little girls because they are
Yep.
not. We need to teach them instead how to channel this aggressive behavior that we have because it's called fucking testosterone. And I was watching a video from Ben Shapiro this week, and he was saying that men do two things: we create or we destroy. Every single action that we do can be classified into two. And he uses his son as an example. He says, I look at my 2-year-old. He's either building low blocks or he's smashing them down.
Right.
So boys will either create or destroy. That is what we fucking do. And this is all depending on the values that we are taught, because it is our nature to be aggressive. It is part of us. It is not like people think today that our aggressive nature is a learned behavior. It is not. It is not learned. It is natural. It's like me saying that a woman's emotional behavior is a learned behavior. It's not. It is part of who she is. That is one of the side effects of having so much estrogen in your body. You will be more emotional. Start giving estrogen pill to a dude. See what happens. He's going to become more emotional. This is one of the direct effect of it. So it is in our nature. That's one. We need to fix our education system in order to treat boys like boys and treat little girls like little girls. And I do strongly believe that we need to go back to a way where it was segregated. That little boys have their own schools, little girls have their own school until they hit college. There should be a segregation between the two where boys are boys, girls are girls, and they concentrate on being students, not on fucking... Man, I don't know what the fuck's going on right now with all the shows of how do we call it? They're transgender shows. They want to educate kids that are 7-year-old on fucking sexual education. It's fucking 7. Fuck that noise. Let's talk about this a lot further down the road. Are you kidding me? Kids don't need to know about sexuality. They need to think that little girls have cooties, whatever the fuck that is. This is what boys should think. But we need to change the way we educate our boys, and I do think that we need to segregate them until I don't know what the age is. Like, I don't know if it's 16 or 18. We start putting them back together, but we need to show our boys to control their aggressive behavior by channeling them into positive outcome, like sports, like martial art, like meditation, like working. Do you think I can work 14, 16 hours a day because I'm fucking late? Why do you think I'm so driven? Because I am pumped with testosterone, bro. I am a workhorse because I've learned to channel that energy towards my goals, towards my work, not towards sexual conquests. I was always driven to women because I had the need to fuck. Instead of wasting my time on this, I waste my time on developing my shit where my energy should be passed. And this is why you see what you're seeing. And then the other point that we need to remember is 85% of dangerous jobs are done by men. All the jobs out there that are extremely dangerous, 95% to 100% is done by males.
That's right.
So we need to stop putting so much emphasis on a university degree or a college degree and start putting an emphasis on what aligns with somebody's nature.
Yep.
If you take me, for example, I dropped out of school. I was 15 years old. I did not go back until I was 21. I was led to believe by the education system that I was stupid. Yet, right now, I can tell you without any humbleness and all cockiness, I'm smarter than 99.9% of people you'll ever meet. Both streetwise, both bookwise, because I educate myself all the time. I don't need somebody else to tell me what I should and shouldn't read. But I was led to believe that I was stupid because I did not fit in school. I did not fit in that box. So you know what? I started selling drugs instead. Do you know what selling drug is? It's a business.
Yeah.
Is it surprising that I have 3 businesses now? No, it's not, because that's always been in my nature. So instead of having a teacher that looked at me and say, you know what? You have entrepreneurship skills. Maybe we should teach you how to develop that because we can see that's where you're going with this. I was led to believe I was stupid, but I went back in my 20s. I did a high school equivalency without ever studying for it. I just showed up. I started doing advanced math like it was a joke because I'm a numbers guy. And then I'm like, why am I wasting my time? I just did the equivalency. I did 18 months in a technical college, which is nothing. But yet, when I quit my corporate job, I was making the salary of an engineer. I was basically the only one in my team that was not an engineer. But you know what? I made the same fucking money that they do.
Right.
And in my field, you make anywhere between 150 grand to 500 grand as a sales engineer, depending for the company that you work for. So with no education, I was able to get there. You know why? This, and because my balls barely fit in my fucking shorts. It does make my penis look very small, but I do have big balls. What can I do?
Let me tell you something about that piece of paper that they make you spend $100,000 on.
Mm.
When I used to work for the city of Pasadena, they were putting up a new water tank.
Mm-hmm.
And here's this engineer comes in. He's trying to tell us what we need to do.
Right.
And our
Fucking
guys,
engineers, huh?
yeah, exactly. My guys and I were all get together and we're like, okay, this is not going to work because of this, and this. And they're like, nope, this guy's got the degree. He's an engineer. You're going to do it exactly the way he wants it done. We're like, it's not going to work. Nope, you're going to do it this way. So sure enough, we did exactly what he wanted us to do. They wasted over $1 million on that project. It didn't work for the exact facts of what we brought up, you know, to the officials. The guys on the ground who've been there, done that, they know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to that guy. This guy that's never been out in the field, all he knows is what's in a book.
Yep.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
And the city has $1 million project that just, I don't know if it's still sitting there or not. It was when I left, but it was worthless.
I'm happy you brought that point up, man. We ran into that problem when I was overseas during the Iraq War.
Mm-hmm.
We had a young guy that was a commander. He was like, I think it was like maybe 19, 20 years old, black guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's supposed to be directing us and, you know, commanding the unit. We get to war. We have incoming bullets coming at us. What does he scream? Retreat.
Retreat.
He screams retreat and starts running. I was like, oh my God, no, he didn't.
But this is.
I said, you know what? That goes to show you, just because you got raped and got book smarts, don't mean you got the biggest balls.
You know, I said it earlier, but I dated this doctor for a couple of years, and I was introduced to all her friends. They're all doctors, they're surgeons, and she was. One thing that I noticed from her is that in Canada, at least, I don't know how it is in the US, but I'm pretty sure it's very similar. She graduated from university. She was 32 years old. Because she did an over specialization, and she was an anesthetist, and she was one of the best anesthetists in Canada. So she was very, very decorated for her age. But that means that she had 11 years of post-secondary education. So 11 years of university. So think about it. She spent all of her 20s in university. She wasn't out there working, exploring the world. She was studying and working as an intern. That's what she did. So she spent her life away from the real world. She did not experience the real world. And it's not just her, but all of her friends. Sure, they make between 500 grand, $1 million, even more if you own your own business. But one thing they all had in common, they were extremely immature when it came down to life skills. Everything that was not taught to them in books, they never experienced until they were 32. So this is, imagine at 19, 20, if all you did is learn from books, what's going to happen? So the behavior that you're mentioning, that makes sense to me, because I've seen it in 30, 40, and 50-year-olds because they're so educated. And one thing I would challenge you on is, you know, we put so much emphasis on degrees, but look at the success rate of the people finding job after university. Yet you can go learn a trade. You know, there's this meme that was going on Facebook forever where it's a guy up an electric pole, and then you have a girl sitting in her living room, and then you're like, oh, this is Stacy. Stacy cannot afford. Stacy has $100,000 in education, but she can't find a job. Here is John that went to a trade school that is cutting Tracy's energy because she can't pay it. So, but
Facts.
but people look down on trades. Yet yesterday I was watching a video. This is fucking brilliant. I never thought about this because I've had some Airbnb properties before, I still do. And one of the things the guy was explaining is fucking brilliant. He's like, go in your city, research how many Airbnb you have in the city that are listed on Airbnb, then start contacting them all one after the other, and then offer them to repair their Airbnb between customers. So let's say there's a nick in the drywall, there's something that needs to be done. So, and you sell them a service to say that once a month for 2 hours, you're going to walk their property. You're just going to show up. You're going to see to make sure everything looks good. And if there's something big that needs to be done, he will then I'll send you a bill. Let's say it's me. I'll walk your property. I'll see if there's a nick in the drywall, pop, I'll fix it. I'll fix the little things. And then if there's a massive problem, I'll send you a bill and we can talk then about fixing it. Mm-hmm. He's like, let's say that there's 400 people that agrees to do this. You charge them $100 a month. That's 40 grand. 40 fucking grand. And the guy said that he does it and it barely takes any work because most people are okay. And I've had Airbnb properties and I can attest to that. Most people do take care. If you choose your people properly, they do take care of your stuff. Right. But he doesn't even need an education. He needs nothing. He needs a license of a handyman. And even the guy on the podcast is like, oh, it's so easy to get a handyman license. Is like, if I didn't get one. The guy that taught about this is like, I don't have one. He's making 20 to 40 grand a month just by doing something that requires, you know how much education? This much. But just here. He makes the money that doctors make by using his fucking brain. This is what we need to teach our boys. Girls are better at learning from books. Boys are better at learning from life, at learning skills through life. And this is what we need to teach them. We need to teach them the skills that they need in order to work and to stop convincing them that they need a university degree when you could simply go to a trade school. And by simply, I'm not saying that learning a trade is simple. What I'm saying is it's a simple decision to say, you know what, I'm somebody that likes to work with my hands. Maybe I want to learn a skill that will, in a case of an apocalypse, I can survive. Like being a carpenter, being an electrician, being a plumber, being somebody that can build shit from your hands is time proof. Working in an office, guess what happens if those offices start closing? Like what you're seeing right now, the Facebook of the world are canning people left and right. Are you hearing people losing their companies because they're electrician? Fuck no. You're always going to need an electrician. Always going to need a plumber. You're always going to need a carpenter. You're going to need a brick guy. And if you're smart, you run a business. You make fucking... People see a Mercedes that's $50,000 and like, ooh, that guy's rich. Do you realize that the F-350 double cab that you just saw is 120 grand, motherfucker? Don't think that because it doesn't have a Mercedes sign on it that it's cheap. That fucking truck is 3 times the price of that Mercedes. But people associate manual labor with being poor or being stupid. Yet he's driving a car that's way nicer than yours, and if you're not nice, you'll fucking ram into your car. You'll roll over your fucking piece of shit Mercedes.
You know what we need more of? And if you think about it, I think the younger you are, the more you absorb when you're learning.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, when I used to live in North Austin, the city next to ours was called Round Rock, and they had a high school there. The high school taught trades.
There you go.
Okay, so you learned your English and your math. I mean, they did the basic education that you need, not all that other BS that they make you learn. But they would have them learn like to become an electrician or a plumber or a mechanic. I think they even had for the girls like if they wanted to learn hairdressing or cosmetology, whatever. And if they did more schools like that, I think
they got rid of it.
We would have more successful,
segregate those schools, bro.
Generation.
Segregate those schools. Bring back the wood shops. Bring back the garages. Bring back carpentry. Bring back all of that. No matter what, even though I worked as a sales engineer for more than 12 years, I've done 2 full rentals on houses by myself because I'm very handy. Those are skills I had to learn in my 30s because nobody taught me them when I was younger. But imagine, no matter what, a man should be able to do electricity. They should be able to fix their plumbing. If it goes out, if you have insurances on your house and you do your own electricity, it's iffy. I tend to just do it by a guy because it's going to need to be certified either way, so that if it burns out, I'm not fucking losing my property.
Right.
But those are skills that men should learn.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop looking down on trades and start encourage men, no matter what, to learn them again. So how about segregate those fucking schools, bring back garages, bring back wood shop, make sure that they have exercise sessions every fucking day.
Yeah.
And then teach them English, teach them math, because if you're going to run a business, you need to know this shit. But man, we can fix this.
Mm-hmm. You can.
I got to run, guys, but fuck, it's awesome. I love to talk to you guys on Fridays, man. I really appreciate that you invite me every time. I fucking love this shit, man.
Oh no, brother, you part of the show now. I'm not inviting you. You're part of the show.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me, man. I really appreciate your time, guys. Have you guys a fucking phenomenal weekend.
Yeah, you too, bro.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Peace out, brothers.
All right, man. Take it easy. So
always good, man. Always good.
Yeah, always good. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, we went over our time today, but ladies and gentlemen, before I leave, we got a big fight this weekend. As you see, I got my Javante Davis shirt, hat on and shirt. Got shirt on too. Tank Davis and Brian Garcia this weekend, this Saturday, 8 p.m. on Showtime in Dazn. Ladies and gentlemen, I have my money on Javante Davis, but I got a surprise for you. Javante Davis is going to get knocked down in this fight.
Uh-oh.
Yes, he is going to get knocked down. Now, the thing is that scares me is, will he get up? Now, if he don't get up, then my money's gone. But he is going to get knocked down this fight. And it's going to happen like the 6th, 7th round. He's going to get knocked down. All right?
I get knocked down. When I get up again.
If he gets up, he's going to knock out Ryan Garcia in the 10th to 11th round. All right?
Okay.
And Ryan Garcia is not going to get up. That's my prediction, ladies and gentlemen. That's my prediction. And also, do me a favor. Go and subscribe to my brother from another mother, the Coyote itself, Bob's Broadcast channel on YouTube. Life coaching, interviews, actors, comedians, authors, you name it, he got it. Paranormal activity, he got it all on his channel. Yes, he got it all. Yeah. Also, go subscribe to my brother from another mother, Nico Lagan. Hey, he told you what he is. He is Mr. Masculinity. Nothing about
that he is.
I don't think he got a feminine part of his body at all.
He drove all the estrogen out of his body.
Yes. So if you got a man or a son that needs some masculinity, send him to Nico Lagan on YouTube. I think he's on Instagram and TikTok.
LinkedIn.
And all that. You can find him. He's not hard to find. I'm telling you, he's not hard to find. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Enjoy the fight. It's going to be probably one of the best fights in boxing history. Brother, you got any closing statements?
Well, yesterday I interviewed I call him a kid. I mean, anybody under 30 years old is a kid to me. But,
right.
Anyway, 29-year-old kid. He's autistic.
Oh, wow.
And he came on my show. He's an advocate for autism.
Okay.
And he's also a speaker. Now, I mean, you can tell that he has a disability, but I was very impressed with the words that he used. But check it out. You know, it might be a little bit difficult to listen to at times because,
right.
I mean, you know,
Okay.
He's autistic,
Right. Right.
but he was told that he would never read past the second or third grade level,
Wow.
and he's in college.
That's awesome.
So it just goes to show, if you don't allow anything to get in your way,
Mm-hmm.
then you have the opportunity to achieve what anybody else can.
There you go. There you go. Yes. Don't let nobody tell you what you can and cannot do.
That's right. That's right. He
Yes.
didn't, and he's going to college.
That's
So
beautiful, brother. That is beautiful. Yes, indeed. Now that right there should put a smile on your face
mhm,
and give you some hope. Like, my child is something to do something. They're telling my
mhm,
child can't do this and that. No. You tell your child that they can do whatever they put their mind to.
mhm.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's beautiful, man.
I
But
have a
anyway,
grand.
ladies and gentlemen, yeah, what's that, man? Go ahead.
I was going to say I have a grandson who's 7, and he's autistic.
Wow.
And I mean, he's a little bit slower than the other kids,
Uh-huh.
but doesn't mean he's not smart. He
Right, of
makes
course.
these TikTok videos that are like, he did this by himself. You know, like he'll be somewhere and he'll snap his fingers and all of a sudden he's somewhere else. That kind
Right.
of thing. He does all that editing and everything himself.
Okay.
At 7 years old.
Awesome. Awesome, man.
Get this.
Hmm.
So he got it in his head that he wanted to buy his mama a house. So he
Wow.
wanted to make some money.
Huh.
And his thought was that he was going to breed dogs. But my daughter's like, well, where are you going to get the money to buy the dogs?
Right.
So he saw somewhere how to make these things called freshies.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there's these little pellets that you can put coloring in,
Right.
you know, make it whatever color you want, and you also put a scent on it.
Hmm.
So you can like hang it in your car or in
Right.
your office or something, and it smells. So they call them, because they call them freshies.
Freshies, right.
So his other grandparents have a booth at the flea market, and
Wow.
he borrowed the money from his mama and daddy to get all the stuff that he needed to make these things.
Right.
First weekend, he made the money to pay his parents back and made a profit. That kid,
Wow.
you should see all the different freshies he's making now. He sells out all the time.
Wow. That's amazing, man. That's beautiful.
I think he's got in his bank account now $500.
All right.
He made.
Uh-huh.
I mean, his
He's
grandparents.
serious about this, huh?
His grandparents
I
are
love
there. His grandparents are there to watch over him, but
Right.
he does all the selling and everything himself.
That's beautiful, man. I love hearing about young entrepreneurs, man. That's beautiful.
So yeah, if he can do it, a 7-year-old kid with autism can do it.
Okay.
You can do it too.
Does he sell them online? His freshies?
If you go to his Facebook page,
Uh-huh.
he sells them on Facebook.
Yeah, after the show, man, send me some information, man. I'm gonna get some freshies from him, man.
Okay.
Most definitely.
I
I love that, man. I love young entrepreneurs, man. That's beautiful, man.
I got one that says it has the cast a tombstone on it,
Uh-huh.
and it says, "I'll be your huckleberry."
Oh man, that's awesome. I love that, man. I love stories like that, man. That's beautiful. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, like I said, man, good weekend, great weekend, big fight this weekend, this Saturday. Be safe, have a good time. Oh, what I want to say is what Nico was talking about. Men should know how to do certain things in the house.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things I don't know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Some of y'all don't know how to use YouTube. I use YouTube all the time. How to plumb, how to do mechanic stuff. It's all on YouTube. How to cook. And some of y'all do not know how to use YouTube. There is nothing in this world that you should not be able to do if you just go on YouTube and look it up. YouTube has been the savior. If YouTube goes away, oh my God. Oh wow. That's awesome, man. That's freaking awesome.
He's got his own packaging here.
Look at that. Oh yeah. I got to get Shout out to Andrew, man. I love it.
Oh, he's
Ladies and
making.
gentlemen, figure out how to use YouTube.
Yeah, no kidding.
There's no reason you don't know how to cook. There's no reason you don't know how to change a light bulb. There's no reason you cannot change your damn battery out your smoke detector. That's crazy. Wow. That brother's talented. Look, I gotta give me some freshies.
Yeah, and he makes cups and pins that he decorates,
Oh,
and he's selling out of those too.
Young entrepreneurs. That young brother is going places. He is definitely going places. I'm going to help. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube is too easy. You could be a real man just by going on YouTube. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to give a shout out to I'm Just Me. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. To my good brother Nostros. I forgot your what your name means. I think it's Running with the Wolves or Dancing with the Wolves. Something about the Wolves. But anyway, man, appreciate you, man. Love you. Love all the people that tuned in today. Love y'all. Be safe. And we will see you Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Central Time. And we are out of here.
There's pain inside.